Hi everyone, welcome to, at last, part one of the second branch of the Mabinogi, the Welsh epic. Um, Sorry there was nothing up last week. I was off work last week and thought I would get a lot done and didn't really. Not the least of getting a story recorded anyway. So this is the first part, like I said, this is the first part of the second branch, and I'll try and get part two up over the weekend. There are just two parts to this one, not three like the first one. Couple of things. I don't think I butcher the names as much as I did in the first part. I think they're just easier to say. You might want to check through the story first if you're going to have your kids watch it. There is some, I want to say, a bit of animal cruelty in this one. So yeah, you might want to check that first. And if you didn't watch the first part, don't worry, because it doesn't really carry on from that. So it's a standalone, despite being the second branch. Yeah, that's pretty much it really. I'll let you crack on. I hope you enjoy it. Like I say, hopefully I'll get part two up over the weekend. Did say I'd make this week a doubler because there was nothing last week. And then after that, we'll see how we'll go with the channel. But yeah, do it'll still be going. I'll say more of that over the weekend when I get part two up. But for now, I hope you enjoy the story. As always, if you do, leave a comment. If you don't, leave a comment. Tell your friends, and of course, subscribe so you can binge on the other stories and keep an eye out for when new stories come up. Okay, right. I'll see you later. Bye. Once, long ago, in a castle on the Welsh coast, there lived a most remarkable family. The oldest of them was a giant of a man named Bran, whose name means raven. His sister was the beautiful Branwen. And they had brothers, twins. The first, Nessian, was as fair in nature as he was in looks. It was said that he could take honey from the bees without being stung. The other twin, Efnessian, was as dark in nature as his brother was light, like a storm cloud on the horizon. And it was said of him that he could make war between a calf and its mother cow. Now, one day, Bran and his brothers were out hunting. And they came over the brow of a hill. Before them was a lake. And very still. The only sound was that of bird song. Suddenly the waters of the lake broke. And the creature that emerged was like nothing they'd ever seen before. Pale, wild red eyes, red hair, long, bony arms, hands almost like claws. From behind it, another creature burst from the water. Female this time, with dark hair. Bran and his brothers drew their swords, ready to do battle. The creatures, dripping wet, bowed before them. Your Highness, we are exiles from the magical land of Anun. We seek sanctuary here, and in return we will give you 2 armies. My wife here, every month she will give birth to 2 red-haired, strong warriors. And this cauldron, his wife stepped forward, holding a strange black carved pot. This cauldron, you put a dead man in it, he will open his eyes fight for you, mindless and unquestioning. Bran turned to his brothers. What do I do? It is said encounters, creatures of Anun are either a blessing or a curse. What is this? Nessian frowned. We have no need for armies. We are at peace. But Efnessian stepped forward. With an army like that, you could be king of the entire realm, king of the entire island of the mighty. No one would dare challenge you. We'd still need to feed and clothe them. And there was Bran, stuck in between, wishing his sister was there to give counsel. The crown weighing heavy upon his head. Eventually, he accepted the offer. It was as Efnessian had said. No one dared challenge him nor his army. And there was peace throughout the land. Bran proved to be a sheltering tree of a king. There was prosperity as well as peace. But Bran had decided he would never use that cauldron. The thought of using the dead in any way disgusted him. One morning, Bran, the king, his two brothers, their sister, were sitting at the castle walls. Harlech. They looked out over the sea. The horizon darkened. Ships. Efnessian leapt to his feet. An invasion! Summon your warriors. Prepare for war! Nessian stepped forward, looked out. Wait! Look, the lead ship. There is someone standing at the front, raising their shield. I can see the sun flashing on it. They are not here for war. They wish only to talk. So Bran and his brothers went down to the shore to meet the fleet. From the lead boat stepped Mathaluk, King of Ireland, explaining that they had only come to seek assurances that Bran and his army meant peace. They would not invade. Well, that night, a great feast was held in the hall, although it was not big enough for Bran to attend. No hall was big enough for the king giant, the Isle of the Mighty. And so it was Nessian who oversaw proceedings, who reassured their Irish guests that they meant no war. They would not invade. Each Irishman was given a golden bowl, a silver goblet, and a warm cloak to wrap themselves in. But despite these assurances, despite these gifts, they remained nervy, watchful, mistrustful. The question always came back. The king, Mathaluk, always asked, if there is to be no war and only peace, why does your king need such an army? And for this, Nessian could only smile, for he had no answer. time went on and time went on. During the day, Bran would take Matholwch hunting. At night, Nessian would entertain his people in the hall, feast and music, assure them that they posed no threat. Eventually Bran went to Nessian. Nothing had changed. Matholwch was still distrustful of them. There was one dim hope. Nessian told Bran that he had noticed an affection growing between Matholwch and Branwen. So with this information, Bran went to his sister and asked if it were true. Did she love the King of Ireland? Branwen's face fell. And what if I do? Then I am happy. I am delighted for you. This is wonderful news. Branwen wept with delight and relief. It was not long before a wedding celebration was held, sealing the peace between the two lands. Matholwch placed a crown on Branwen's head, pinned a brooch to her chest, and wrapped her in a fine velvet cloak. Upon her finger he put a most magnificent ring. The hall was filled with dancing, music, cheers of celebration. But there was one who did not join in. There was one who sat brooding and staring in awe at the stupidity of his brothers. Could they not see? They had given away the jewel of the realm. The most beautiful woman in the entire of Britain had been given away to these savages from across the sea. No, Nessian would not stand for this. He slipped out of the celebrations. In the dark of night, went down to the stables. The Irish army's horses were held. And he slipped from stall to stall with a knife, cutting each horse's eyelids to the bone and their lips to the teeth. The next morning, Bran was woken by a servant. Matholwch and the entire Irish army were preparing to set sail, alone, without Branwen. Quickly, Bran and his family hurried down to the beach. What's wrong? What's happened? Why are you leaving? Matholwch rounded on him. You people. While I was proclaiming devotion of love, you went and slaughtered our horses. What kind of family are you to do this? We will not stay here. We will not believe your words. A servant was sent to the stables, and there he found what Matholwch had said was true. They were feasted upon by crows and flies. The servant returned to the beach and said what he had found. Bran turned to his brother. Only you can heal this wound. Only your words can assure them that we did not intend this. So Nessian pleaded with the king, explained that this was not their doing, that his willful brother, Nessian, who saw good in nothing, had killed their horses. He promised them each man would have their horse replaced. The finest horses in the land. They would have a silver staff, taller than them, and a great gold shield, as broad as their face. No, Mathaluk would not accept these gifts. Trust had been broken. Nessian took a servant to one side and whispered instructions. They brought down from the castle and put upon the beach carved black cauldron. Put a dead man in here, and he will open his eyes, and he will fight mindlessly, without question for you. He will not fall. The magic can only be broken if a living person is to climb inside. Mathaluk agreed to peace. Why would they lie and then offer them such a weapon as this? So the Irish returned to Harlech Castle and stayed one more night. In the morning the fleet unfurled its sails. They set out across the sea. Branwen sat beside her king on a throne of gold and ivory. Bran and Nisian watched the fleet until it met, where the sea and the sky become one. Nessian regarded his brother. Your face is carved with care. Bran smiled. I worry for our sister. I worry for Branwen. Of course. There are none who look upon her or cannot love her. Bran smiled. I wish all could see the good in the world as you do, Nessian. He remained on the beach, looking out to sea, till the sky turned dark to night, and one by one the stars began to come out.